Hello, my name is Margaret Campbell. Millions of Canadian seniors are being forced to pay thousands in unnecessary taxes and are losing their government benefits, and the CRA will not tell you why. There's a hidden rule about your retirement savings that kicks in the year you turn 71, and you need to act now before it's too late. It's a mandatory government-enforced leak in your retirement bucket. After a lifetime of diligently saving inside your RRSP, the system forces you to start taking money out, even if you don't need it. This isn't a choice. It's a mandate that begins the year you turn 72. This forced income creates a surprise tax bill and can trigger a clawback of your old age security pension. It feels like the government is reaching into your pocket, penalizing you for being a responsible saver. If you don't understand the rules of this game, you will lose. Stay until the end, because the last strategy I'll share could be worth a fortune to you and your family. This silent financial drain happens automatically if you're not prepared, eroding your hard-earned nest egg and the government benefits you're counting on. The problem starts at age 71, when your RRSP must be converted, most often into a Registered Retirement Income Fund, or RRIF. By the very next year, mandatory withdrawals begin, and the percentage you're forced to take out increases every single year. This forced income is fully taxable and can easily push you over the dreaded OAS clawback threshold, costing you thousands of dollars from the pension you were promised. It's a vicious circle, but you are not helpless. My mission is to give you the user manual the government never provided. In this video, I will pull back the curtain on this RRIF trap. I'll show you exactly how it works, the damage it can cause, and most importantly, the simple legal strategies you can use to protect what's yours. For years, as a financial consultant specializing in retirement income for Canadians, I've seen this RRIF trap hurt too many good, hard-working people. I've sat across the table from couples who did everything right. They saved diligently, they paid their taxes, they built a nest egg, only to find themselves facing a surprise tax bill and the loss of their OAS benefits in their 70s. My mission on this channel is simple: to pull back the curtain on the complex financial rules that affect seniors. The government and the big banks won't call you to explain how you can minimize your taxes or protect your benefits. They build the system, but they don't give you the user manual. I'm here to give you that manual. Today, we are going to dismantle the mandatory RRIF withdrawal rule, but this is just the beginning of how we take back control. Think of me as your guide through the bureaucratic fog, shining a light on the path to true financial security in your retirement. This channel is your dedicated resource for understanding not just the RRIF rules, but everything from maximizing your CPP and OAS to navigating the maze of government benefits like the GIS and provincial health top-ups. The system is designed to be complex, and its default settings are rarely in your favor. My commitment to you is to translate this mountain of confusing jargon into clear, actionable advice. Together, we will ensure that your money stays in your pocket, that you claim every benefit you're entitled to, and that you can enjoy the peace of mind you have worked your entire life to earn. Your financial well-being is not a game, and I'm here to make sure you have the winning strategy. To beat this RRIF trap, you need a clear plan. So, in this video, we're going to cover 3 critical things. First, I'll break down exactly what the prescribed minimum withdrawal is, showing you the official government percentage table and how it sneakily increases as you age, forcing more and more of your own money out of its tax shelter. Second, we'll run the numbers on a real-life example. I'll show you how a typical RRIF balance can trigger the dreaded OAS clawback and cost you thousands of dollars per year from your pension. Seeing the numbers on paper makes the threat real, and it's the key to understanding the urgency. And third, and most importantly, I will give you 3 powerful legal strategies you can use, both before and after age 71, to reduce your mandatory withdrawals, minimize your tax bill, and protect your OAS check. This is the kind of practical, insider information your bank may not volunteer. This knowledge is your first line of defense, but the rules of the game can change. Government thresholds, tax brackets, and benefit amounts are updated every year, and staying on top of it all is crucial for your financial health. Falling behind on this information means leaving money on the table, or worse, unknowingly walking into a financial trap. So, to ensure you never miss a vital update that could save you and your family thousands of dollars, I need you to do one thing for me right now. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It's a simple click, but it's the first concrete step you can take in taking back control of your financial destiny and protecting the legacy you've worked so hard to build. Now let's get started by unearthing the hidden mechanics of this RRIF rule. All right, let's get into the mechanics of this government-mandated withdrawal. By the end of the calendar year you turn 71, your RRSP party is officially over. The government requires you to close it. For most Canadians, this means converting it into a registered retirement income fund, or RRIF. Here's the first trap. Starting in the calendar year after you open that RRIF, you are forced by the CRA to withdraw a minimum percentage of its value. This is the prescribed minimum amount. It starts at 5.28% at age 71 and climbs every single year, hitting 6.82% at age 80, and eventually a staggering 20% by age 95. This isn't optional. It's a rigid formula you must follow. But the most insidious part is how the money arrives in your account. The financial institution is not required to withhold any income tax on this minimum withdrawal. So the full amount lands in your checking account, and it feels like tax-free money, but it's not. It is 100% taxable income that you must declare on your tax return, and you will owe the CRA money come April. Let's make this real. Meet Frank, a 72-year-old retired electrician living in Calgary. He worked hard and saved diligently, accumulating $400,000 in his RRSP, which is now a RRIF. For age 72, the mandatory withdrawal factor is 5.40%. This means Frank is legally forced to withdraw $21,600 from his own savings, even though he and his wife are living comfortably on their pensions and don't need the extra cash. Because no tax was withheld, that $21,600 lands in his bank account. But when he files his taxes, that extra income is added on top of his CPP and other pension income. Assuming a combined marginal tax rate of around 30.5% in Alberta, Frank is now facing a surprise tax bill of over $6,500 that he never saw coming. He was penalized for being a good saver, and this is just the beginning. The amount he's forced to take out and the tax he has to pay on it will only grow larger every single year. This escalating withdrawal schedule is a ticking tax bomb planted in the heart of your retirement savings. That $6,500 surprise tax bill for Frank in Calgary is a significant blow, but it's just the direct damage. What most retirees don't realize is that this forced income creates a dangerous ripple effect across their entire financial picture. The government's own rules are working against each other, setting you up for a much bigger loss than just a higher tax bill. In fact, that surprise tax bill is only half the problem. What I'm about to show you next is the real knockout punch. How the government uses this very rule to justify taking back the old age security pension they are already paying you. It's a clawback that can cost you thousands more, and it happens silently if you're not watching. Now, let's talk about that knockout punch. The old age security clawback, or what the CRA officially calls the OAS recovery tax. It's a mechanism designed to reduce OAS payments for higher income seniors. For the 2025 benefit year, if your individual net income goes above the threshold of approximately $93,454, the government starts taking back your pension. For every single dollar you are over that line, they claw back 15 cents of your OAS. And where does this extra income often come from? Exactly. It's the mandatory RRIF withdrawal that you were forced to take. The system is passive. It won't warn you that the income it forces you to generate is about to jeopardize the pension it's supposed to be paying you. This isn't an attack on the wealthy. It's a trap that snares responsible, middle-class savers who simply followed the rules and now find themselves losing benefits they counted on. Let's look at another real-life scenario. Meet Susan, who is 75 and lives in Ontario. She has a RRIF worth $700,000. The mandatory withdrawal factor for a 75-year-old is 5.82%. This means she is forced to take out $40,740. Now let's say her CPP and a small work pension add up to another $55,000 a year. Her total net income before the clawback is now $95,740. This puts her $2,286 over the $93,454 threshold. The government will now claw back 15% of that overage, which comes to $342.90. That might not sound like a disaster, but remember, this happens every year, and the amount she's forced to withdraw increases annually. By the time she's 85, her mandatory withdrawal on the same RRIF balance would be over $57,000, likely wiping out her entire OAS pension. She is being systematically stripped of her benefits simply because she saved for her own future. This is the vicious circle I mentioned. The very system that provides your foundational pension is taking it away because of another rule that forces you to take income you might not even need. You are caught in a financial pincer movement, squeezed between a forced RRIF withdrawal and the OAS recovery tax. Your lifelong savings, intended to provide security, become the very trigger for losing your government benefits. It feels fundamentally unfair because it is. You did nothing wrong. The silent, passive system simply has a default setting that penalizes diligent savers. But losing your OAS is a serious blow, and you do not have to accept it as inevitable. The first strategy I'm going to share is one that nearly half of eligible Canadian couples fail to use correctly, and it could save them thousands of dollars every single year. You have the power to fight back. This feels unfair, but you are not helpless. You have powerful legal tools to fight back, and the first is one that is shockingly underused: pension income splitting. If you have a spouse or common law partner, the Income Tax Act allows you to allocate up to 50% of your eligible pension income, which includes your RRIF withdrawals, to your partner for tax purposes. You don't physically give them the money. It's an attribution on paper done when you file your taxes using Form T-1032. Let's go back to Susan, whose $95,740 income was triggering the OAS clawback. By splitting her $40,740 RRIF withdrawal, she can shift $20,370 of that income to her husband. Her own net income for OAS purposes plummets to just over $75,000, well below the clawback threshold. She not only saves her entire OAS pension, but also likely reduces the couple's total tax bill because the income is now taxed in her husband's lower bracket. This single action can save a couple thousands of dollars every year. The second strategy is a simple but permanent decision you can make when you first set up your RRIF. You can elect to base your minimum withdrawal calculations on your younger spouse's age. This is a one-time election. You can't change it later, so it's critical to know about it upfront. If your spouse is even a few years younger, the impact can be significant over time. Let's look at Susan again. She is 75, with a withdrawal factor of 5.82%. If her husband was 70, she could elect to use his age. The factor for a 70-year-old is only 5.28%. On her $700,000 RRIF, this would reduce her mandatory withdrawal from $40,740 down to $36,960. That's almost $4,000 less of forced income she has to declare that year. This single choice, made once, permanently lowers her forced withdrawals for the rest of her life, reducing her tax bill and making it much easier to stay below the OAS clawback threshold. The third strategy is the most proactive, and it's for those of you who are not yet 71. It's often called an RRSP meltdown, and it involves strategically withdrawing funds from your RRSP in the years before the mandatory RRIF conversion. Think about the years between when you retire, say at 65, and when you start CPP and OAS. For many people, these are their lowest income years in retirement. Instead of letting your RRSP grow untouched until age 71, you can intentionally withdraw amounts each year enough to use up your lower tax brackets, but not so much that it pushes you into a high one. Yes, you pay tax on these withdrawals now, but you pay it at a much lower rate than you will later when your income is stacked with CPP, OAS, and forced RRIF withdrawals. The real prize is that you are shrinking the size of your future RRIF, permanently diffusing the tax bomb and reducing every single mandatory withdrawal you'll face for the rest of your life. So let's recap what we've uncovered today. We've learned that the government's mandatory RRIF withdrawal rule is not just an inconvenience. It's a system that forces you to take out money you may not need, creating a surprise tax bill and, more dangerously, putting your old age security pension at risk through the clawback. This isn't your fault. It is a passive, built-in feature of a complex system that penalizes diligent savers. But we have also learned that you are not powerless against it. You have powerful legal tools to fight back. You can split RRIF income with your spouse using Form T1032. You can use a younger spouse's age to permanently lower your withdrawal amounts, and you can plan ahead with strategic RRSP meltdowns before you even turn 71. Do not wait for a letter from the CRA. You must be proactive, because the single biggest mistake you can make in the face of this complexity is inaction. Take what you have learned today and review your own situation. Look at your retirement plan, talk to your spouse, and if you're not yet 71, start thinking about whether an RRSP meltdown makes sense for you. If this information was valuable, I ask you to please like this video and, most importantly, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell. Every like helps this video reach another Canadian senior who desperately needs to hear this message. Subscribing ensures that you are always armed with the latest information to navigate the bureaucratic fog and protect your financial future from any changes that come down the line. I'm Margaret Campbell. Protect your money, protect your family, and secure the peace of mind you have worked your entire life to earn.